Don't forget to check out and grab your copy of our 2 newly released books, Football: A Love Story and What Did Football Teach Me? These books feature over 100 stories from current and former coaches, players, executives, and entertainers from across the football landscape, describing what got them involved in the game, what they love about it, and what life lessons the game taught them. You can find your copy or order your copy from our website at footballgameplan.com/books. Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our preview of the 2015 Belk Bowl between the Mississippi State Bulldogs and the North Carolina State Wolfpack. Now let's start this video off by taking a look at my keys to victory. Starting with Mississippi State in this ball game, it's going to be important that the safeties protect deep down the field. They're facing one of the best deep ball throwers in JACOBY BRISSETT of North Carolina State, and if they're not keeping their eyes where they need to be and staying assignment sound, he can hit them for a big play deep down the field. And the wide receivers have to remain consistent throughout the course of this ball game. They can't have those mental lapses that turn into drops or tip passes that end up being intercepted. They have to make sure they come ready to play. Otherwise, they'll find themselves giving North Carolina State more opportunities offensively than what you want them to have. And it's going to be important for these guys to stay active at the line of scrimmage defensively. While JACOBY BRISSETT is a talented passer, there's plenty of chances for these guys to get tip passes at the line of scrimmage. He tends to flatline a lot of throws, which could end up getting the Wolfpack off the field, or better yet, creating a turnover for that Bulldogs football team. Moving over to North Carolina State in this ball game, I would allow JACOBY BRISSETT to control both the tempo and the pace offensively. I think they're much more effective and efficient offensively when he's calling plays at the line of scrimmage when they're going hurry up, no huddle. I think if they can do that versus Mississippi State, it doesn't give the Bulldogs a chance defensively to get set. And they have to make plays in space defensively. If you're going to stop Mississippi State, you have to make those one-on-one tackles versus those big wide receivers or that big quarterback in Dak Prescott when he pulls the football in the read option, or the tailback when he decides to give it. Make plays in space defensively, and you can knock off the Bulldogs. And it's going to be critical for North Carolina State to win the special teams battle. Mississippi State has 2 excellent returners in punt returner Fred Ross and kickoff returner Brandon Holloway. If they allow these guys to create a half a field opportunity for that Bulldogs offense, it'll be a long day for the Wolfpack. I like the Bulldogs in this ball game. I think Mississippi State is a well-balanced offensive attack, albeit unconventional. I like the progressions that Dak Prescott has made in the passing game, and defensively, I think their front 7 with their activity and athleticism will cause a lot of problems underneath for North Carolina State.
Now we have the Belk Bowl, and you have Mississippi State going against North Carolina State. And my X factor for North Carolina State is a quarterback that no one is talking about, but he's one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. That's JACOBY BRISSETT. And looking at what he could do, I mean, he's a big quarterback. He stands right there in the pocket, and he can make all the throws. And he's hard to bring down. The guy, when you watch him, he kind of reminds me of a Ben Roethlisberger or a Dante Culpepper, in that he could extend plays and make plays down the field. He's a very good vertical passer. They run some read option with him, and when they do, he's definitely an option in the running game. He's a force on offense, so he's definitely my X factor for North Carolina State. Now looking at Mississippi State, my X factor is going to be De'Runnya Wilson. He's a bigger receiver at 6'5". He gives them a height advantage of at least 4 inches over all of North Carolina State's DBs. So they haven't really used him as much in the red zone as they should have this past year. And I think that in this game, because of the height advantage, they will have the opportunity to get him the ball, some fades and back shoulder throws. And he needs to make plays for them in the red zone. And well, in order for him to make plays, they need to give him an opportunity. So he's going to have to get the opportunities, and when he does get them, he needs to make those plays. So I definitely think De'Runnya Wilson is the X factor for them in the red zone. I actually have Mississippi State winning this game. I think they'll beat North Carolina State just on the strength of Dak Prescott and De'Runnya Wilson.
The Belk Bowl features one of the best quarterback matchups of any bowl game that's not a New Year's Day bowl. From the offensive side of the ball, and the quarterback who's going to get a lot of looks, Dak Prescott from Mississippi State. He's been this offense for the last couple of years and has done an excellent job under Dan Mullen. A big-time, big threat receiver. He's an underclassman, De'Runnya Wilson. He's about 6'5", 215, big body guy on the next level. That is definitely coveted. Guys blocking up front for him: Rufus Warren, offensive tackle, and Justin Malone, offensive guard. Now, as far as the NC State side goes, they have their own quarterback and prospect that I am actually a fan of, JACOBY BRISSETT, former Florida transfer who's done a great job this year against quality opponents. And Joe Thuney, offensive guard who protects up front for JACOBY BRISSETT. On the defensive side of the ball, Mississippi State has a guy who's a junior, early entry, Chris Jones, who's getting some pub and could be a late day 1, early day 2 pick. Also, Ryan Brown, defensive end for Mississippi State. And on the defensive side of the ball for NC State, Justin Burris. I think that Mississippi State is just going to be a little bit too much to handle with that style of offense. I think they take this one 41-24.